Hi everyone, it's Wednesday Warriors, and it's me, Arielle. And this week I'm going to be talking about ways to stop yourself in the middle of a bad decision, because so often people make bad choices, especially when it comes to behaviors during eating disorder recovery. And after the fact, they're very disappointed in themselves and they know they shouldn't have done it, but they weren't able to stop themselves in the moment. So I'm going to talk about ways that you can help yourself and stop yourself in the moment, things you can do that will really make you stop and think, and you can alter the choices that you make. When you start trying to stop yourself in the midst of a bad decision, it may not work right away because you're going to say, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. And sometimes the impulse or the bad behavior is stronger than that thought that's telling you to stop. But the beauty of it is that the more you keep trying to stop yourself and saying, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. Okay, maybe I should try that tactic that I learned. You're taking a few seconds at least in the middle of what you're doing where you are actually stopping. And then sometimes you might choose, the bad decision. But other times you're going to have stopped yourself for enough seconds that you can actually rethink it. So it might take a little bit of trial and error to find something that works for you, but it's also like reforming a habit. So if you are really habitual about making a specific bad decision or using a certain bad behavior in regards to your eating disorder, it might take you a while to break it. So if after a week or 2 weeks of trying this and it's not working, don't say to yourself, well, this is silly, it's not working, I'm going to stop doing it. Sometimes it's going to take even longer for it to really take hold. You have to retrain your thinking, and sometimes that can be pretty difficult. The first thing I'm going to talk about doesn't involve much thinking in the midst of a moment on your part, but it does involve a little bit of preparation before you would ever get to that moment in the first place. A very specific example that I'll use is a scale. Let's say that you are someone who constantly weighs yourself, and even if you don't constantly do it, you do it enough, and this scale has sort of a power over you, so that depending upon what that number is, you're going to have a good day, you're going to have a bad day. It's really going to alter your mood and the way that you're thinking, and we shouldn't let any kind of inanimate object or even a person have that kind of effect upon us. We should be able to control our own happiness and our own lives and the things that we do and the way that we think and feel. So this scale, for a lot of people, has a lot of power. And this scale can fuel what might happen next. So, for example, if you get on your scale and the number is something that you don't like, it might cause you to starve yourself for a day. It might change your mind so that you had planned to eat dinner, but now you won't eat dinner because you don't like what you saw there. Or it could cause you to binge and purge because you're triggered by disliking that number and then disliking yourself or your body. And it just sets off a chain of events. So what I'm suggesting would be something, for example, with the scale, where you would make it extremely hard to weigh yourself. And I know that people talk sometimes about giving their scale to a trusted person or throwing it out. But the thing with that is you can always buy a new one, and you can always try to beg someone to give you the scale back, and that can create relationship issues, and it can waste a lot of your time trying to persuade someone to give you something that you gave them for safekeeping. So something you can try instead is making your scale extremely hard to get to. You can wrap it in bubble wrap and tape it all up with duct tape. And then maybe you'll put a blanket or some paper towels around it and you'll tape that up. Then maybe you'll put it in a garbage bag, add some more duct tape to that. And you really just want to make your scale really extremely hard to get to for when those moments come that you want to weigh yourself. You're not relinquishing your scale to anyone. You're not getting rid of it. It's still going to be there in your house. A lot of the time people have a real power struggle with giving it away. They need to have it there. It's like a sense of security. They're too far out of their comfort zone if they don't have that scale with them. So you can still have it with you, but you're just going to make it really difficult to get to. And you'll know that if you really want to get to that scale, you can. You can undo all of those bindings and wrappings and tape, and you can get to it. But the point is that when you are having a bad day or you're going to make a bad decision, like weighing yourself, that will alter your mood. You're going to be forced now to stop and think. So if you have it in your head that you're going to weigh yourself and you have to go to that scale, you're going to have to take that duct tape off. You're going to have to take that garbage bag off. You're going to have to take the rest of that duct tape off, those pieces of paper, those paper towels. You're going to have to take more duct tape off. You're going to have to take off that bubble wrap. And it's going to be a real pain in the butt to get to that scale. And the whole time you're doing it, you're going to be thinking to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I going to all this trouble and this pain in the butt to get to this scale? And it's going to be more than 2 seconds, and it's going to make you think. And maybe you will have some days that you're going to unwrap all of that stuff, and you won't be too tired to get to the scale. But you will have days where you really question your thinking, and that's what we're looking for. Now, you can do that with anything. It doesn't have to be a scale. It can be anything that sets you off, anything that's unhealthy. I mean, you can do that with a lot of different objects. The other thing that I've suggested in the past as far as stopping yourself in the midst of a bad decision, for example, this would be for people who are apt to purge or are apt to binge and purge. I've suggested before, on the flip side of your toilet seat, putting a picture of someone that you really care about, that someone you wouldn't want to see you the way you are doing what you're doing when you're making that bad decision. It could be a picture of your mom. Maybe it's a picture of your child. Maybe it's a picture of your best friend. Someone that you're going to be looking at while you're about to do what you're doing that's really going to make you stop and think. And it's going to trigger that emotional response. And hopefully it will start to get you back on the right track. I'm not saying that like magic, you're all of a sudden going to not want to do these behaviors that have so long been part of your eating disorder, but it will make you stop and think. And again, that's what we're looking for. And if you are going to say that you don't have anyone that you would be upset or disappointed or sad if they saw you that way, if you don't have any supports in your life maybe, or you don't think that a picture of someone else would work, try taping up a picture of yourself as a little child, as a little girl or a little boy. Try to find a picture that you really like, that you think is sweet, that you think shows your innocence, shows you perhaps before you had any of these troubles, and tape that up to the back, to the underside of the toilet seat. And see if that doesn't make you stop and think. It's really hard, I think, to do bad things in front of a child. And I also think that it's really hard to be hard on yourself when you're looking into the eyes of you as a child. You can't hate yourself then. You can't think bad, negative things about yourself then. You might be thinking them now, but at least if you can think good thoughts about the little person that you're looking at in that photo, and somehow on some even subconscious level know that that's you, it's a step in the right direction. You can sort of take that idea and make it work for a variety of situations. For example, if you're apt to binge, you can put pictures on your refrigerator or even on specific packages of food that will make you stop and think, whether it's a picture of you as a child or a picture of your mom or a picture of your own child, or whatever the case might be. You can try that. If you don't want to use photos of people, you can also try using positive affirmations, really good either quotes that you really like, things that other people have said to you, things that you really think are positive and speak to you. And you can put them on your mirror to stop self-hate talk in the midst of it. That's a bad decision. You can put that on the back of the underside of the toilet seat. You can put it on your refrigerator. You can put it on a package of food. And it's not to say, you, bad, don't do this. It's to say, look, this is what I want to show you, good, positive things. This is what I want you to be, happy and free from this. And that promise, that hope for you and for your future might just be enough after some time to steer your thinking in a better direction. There are a lot of different things that you can do. These are just some things that I've suggested to people in the past, and they've been received fairly well, so that's why I'm sharing them. If you can think of other variations of these things or even completely different things that are your own, try them. If you don't have anything to lose, you have nothing to lose by trying any sort of a suggestion that someone tells you or something that you can come up with on your own. All creative ideas are worth it, and sometimes the most creative and strange idea is the one that's going to stick. it's not necessarily about making you immediately stop yourself in the middle of that bad decision. That's the goal. But the immediate concern, the immediate goal is for you to think, stop and think, and have your thinking be questioned. And as soon as you can do that for a while, the rest will come. I hope you're having a wonderful week out there, everyone, and I will see you next time.